Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have a review of the HG Jo Hound. Now, I am a big fan of the Kyoukai Senki series. I've said this multiple times. Now, originally I was planning of maybe uploading this specific video on a different date, but once again I've already made a video, so maybe I might as well, upload 2 videos on one day. Anyway, so this is the Jo Hound. Now, this was actually seen in the main series. However, I believe we've seen this in a different color, in a much more darker black-gray color, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember seeing in this sand brown color. Maybe it was in the background or something, but yeah. Alright, so the Jo Hound is actually in season 1 series. It's actually a outdated model. For those who've seen the anime might get the idea. So, as usual, let's see what we got from the kit. So let me just get rid of the stand and see what we got. So first of all, in this kit, I really love the build of this kit. It's still compact, and yet it has a unique structure. And yeah, and by overall means, it may look a little bit short, but if you actually see this in person, it's actually a very good size. Alright, so in terms of components, it's pretty simple. You get the main unit, you still get the same gun as the Brady Hound, and you still get 2 sets of hands, which is the multi-purpose hand that also works as a fist if I remember correctly, and then these open style hands. So that, and the sticker wise, very simple. I really love the fact that there's only a few stickers. Number one here, the mono eye sticker. It's a huge green sticker, and then there's these 2 small cameras that are meant for the rifle. That is it for the sticker. That is beautiful. And right away, let me do some comparisons. So I saw that this was pretty obvious. Basically, the Jo Hound is basically the outdated model version of the Brady Hound. So the Brady Hound is a upgraded and updated model, while the Brady Hound is much more of a agile unit, while the Jo Hound is a little bit outdated, so it's a bit slow, but it's a tanky unit, so that is very, very cool. And let's see what we got. As a basic comparison with the Brady Hound unit, now here this is the Brad custom version. Now it may look similar, but it's actually there's a lot of new parts. So first of all, right off the bat, the legs are pretty much the same parts. So the leg from here, only the legs are the same, while the feet are actually entirely different new parts, and pretty much every part else is pretty much new. I think if I had to point out, maybe it might be the same, is that the arms. So the upper arms might be the exact same piece, but other than that, yeah, everything is pretty much new. Alright, so let's see what we got. So, I love the compact build of this. I really enjoy the build. I wouldn't mind buying maybe 2 to 3 more of these. But heck, I wouldn't mind also getting a color variant of this, because the original one we saw in the main series was actually a dark color, if you remember correctly. The AMIAM Ghost had the exact same arm as this guy, but in a different color. So that's the case. All right, so let's see what we got from here. Now you guys saw the height comparison between the Brady Hound. It's not a big difference, but once you see compared to a 1:144 scale gunpla kit, yeah, you can see it's not small or shorter by any means, but rather it's more of has a chunky look, which I really like that aspect. Now I guess in terms of the Gundam universe, the most similar unit would be the TRN, but I don't own the HG TRN, but I did review the 1:100 scale and I absolutely loved it. Alright, so let's see what we got. So the head, definitely interesting looking head here with a mono eye style head going on here. Now, despite how this looks, it does have a little bit of movement. You can go up and down slightly. Going side to side is not an option, but once again, what you can do is you can take off the ball joint, and you might see here there are 2 knobs here. So number one, you can actually move both eyes to the side like that. You can go all the way to the side, or once again, controlling this might be a little bit tricky because you need to move both knobs together, or you can move the other way around. Or what you can do is that you can actually separate these 2 all like this to make it look like it's deactivated or inactive mode going on here. So that is really cool, if you ask me. Now, once again, there's not much polycaps in here, so side to side movement is possible, but this is as far as you go, because as you saw, it was a ball joint. But once again, at first everything might feel a little bit stiff, but once again, as long as you know what you're doing, it should be fine. And once again, here we have the rifle here, since it just slipped out of the hand. Still the same gun, still the same structure, and still has the same stickers right over here. So yeah, no difference from there. Now the shoulder, you might think the shoulder articulation might lack, but once again, it's actually pretty good. You have the this part here, including the main body area, that can move forward and backward like that, and it also can move up and down like that. Now keep in mind, this is not the shoulder, this is actually part of the main body, and interesting enough, we actually have these guns installed into the main body, which is very cool if you ask me. Now, just looking at the shoulder itself, it is on a ball joint, so it does have a slight forward and backward movement going on here, so it's still there. And then being on a ball joint, you can still go 360, and going to the side, well, it's a little bit tricky, but yeah, it won't go as much as possible because once again, the armor parts are colliding the way. So don't try to force it, or you might actually snap a small piece. So keep that in mind. Now, arm-wise itself, you pretty much have the same. You should have a general idea how this works. You have the 360 twist. Bend-wise, you get about a little bit more than 90 degrees, and ball jointed hands. No big difference there. And then the main body here, actually, I really like how simple this looks. Once again, you can have a nice bend. You can go bend that much forward. So ab crunch is, I guess that would consider an ab crunch, so you can go there. And then 360 twist should be no problem. So yeah, very cool design, very cool structure. Now we have some of these armor plates on the front that can actually move up and down slightly. And then you have this side skirt that can move up and down slightly. And then we have this part right over here, which you can actually pull out a little bit. Now this, once again, like in all Kyoukai Senki series units, most of them actually has this parking mode, which they're pretty much in their storage mode. So I'll show you guys that later as well. Now looking at the legs here, we have a nice side swivel going on here. Now don't be fooled by this. This may look like does it have that hinge system? Yes and no, because the way how you're supposed to attach this part here is that it's actually a locking mechanism. So if you pull down 90 degrees, you're technically able to allow to pull this piece off. But yeah, but once again, moving the leg, it will move it together. But once again, just make sure that you don't pull it out accidentally, because if you put it downwards 90 degrees, that's actually, there's a small T-shaped peg there that allows it to come out. So make sure that doesn't happen. So yeah, going forward, it can go that much, but once again, if you use the swivel system, kind of semi-swivel system, you can slightly go a little bit more, but I'm not sure if that's supposed to move together, because the way you attach it is slightly different. And going backwards, obviously, if you have the back skirt all the way out and then out, you should be able to go backwards 90 degrees as well. And then going to the side should be no problem. Now, despite being a older version of the Brady Hound, it has some really good articulation here. And then bend wise, you still get the same bend structure, so no big deal there. And the feet are your ball jointed feet. Now keep in mind, there's actually a ball joint here, but there's also another moving part on the top here, so you get a really nice pivot joint going on here as well. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. Any other detail I forgot to mention? I don't think there is. So actually, yeah. Other than going upwards, as I mentioned, this does go forward and backward. All right. So I think we've seen the basics of the kit. So I'll be right back with one demonstration, and I'll also show you guys the parking state. Okay, I'm back. So here is one of the poses mentioned in the box. I really like this pose for some reason. So yeah, kneeling poses should be no problem as well. And then if you move the monolite together, it really gives out some really cool poses, if you ask me. Now, interesting enough, I believe these are guns, but there's nothing mentioned in the manual at the same time. So that's definitely an odd detail, if you ask me. But still, I really love the way how this looks and works. Now, you might have noticed there's these parts here. So I was wondering if I could attach this to the store carrier. Technically, once again, that's at my parents' house. But once again, I've compared this with the Brady Hound's length here. These are much more wider, and there's no way to actually attach that extra piece to connect it to the store carrier. So I'm gonna say that's a no-go. All right, so we've seen one of the basic poses that's mentioned in the box. So I think we'll end this video off with the parts state. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the part state of the Jo Hound. Definitely looking simple enough. Basically, you just fold the legs and basically you fold the legs and make sure the knee armor and then the foot armor are on a single straight line, and then you align them on the ground. And that's pretty much it for this park state. Now, once again, I believe this is not really meant for the store carrier. Maybe on the trunk, on the truck version, you can squeeze it in, but that's pretty much it. So once again, I personally like this kit because of how simple it looks and how tanky it looks, because it's a scene that we don't see too often in the Gundam universe. So for Kyoukai Senki series kits, they're doing some really unique stuff, which I really love. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the HG Jo Hound from the Kyoukai Senki series. Once again, I'm really looking forward for season 2 and their kits. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. Hope you guys enjoyed the review and found this review a little bit helpful. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.